I'll be with my 14 kids by myself.
Do you remember the viral sensation that was Octomom?
I'm in a situation now where we are literally broke.
In just a few years, she had 6 kids, and then she got pregnant with octuplets, all via IVF.
My children's private school, a little over $3,000 a month.
And then it was revealed that she did it all selfishly so that she'd become famous and so that she wouldn't have to work.
This is not an adult house. This is a very dilapidated.
But it didn't work, and she ultimately put her 14 children through years of struggles and hardships.
No income, no job, no way to get a reasonable income anytime soon.
And if you're wondering what she's up to now,
To say my kids are amazing and thriving would be an understatement.
you won't believe the truth about what really happened to Octomom. Now, Octomom, or rather Natalie Suleman, is the only woman to ever have octuplets who all survived. And now her octuplets are the longest surviving octuplets in history. But there's actually one thing that most people don't realize. Even though Octomom was known for having 8 kids at once, she actually had 6 kids before that, meaning that she has 14 kids total. And the story of how she had them all is seriously strange because she had them all via IVF, with no father in the picture, if you know what I mean. You can't help but wonder who was the biological father of all these kids. Do they all have the same dad? Did she even know the dad, or rather dads? The answer is honestly bizarre, but that's not even the craziest part. The craziest part, at least in my opinion, is that there was only one doctor who did the treatments so that she could have all 14 children. So one doctor agreed to this over and over again, even though her circumstances were not great for bringing any children into the world, let alone 14. First of all, she was obviously a single income household, but then you have the fact that she allegedly wasn't even a single income household because she was supposedly unemployed when she got pregnant with the octuplets. Allegedly, she was just living off of student loans, a settlement of $80,000 from hurting her back at a previous job, and an inheritance of $60,000. And she was funding these procedures with this money too. You can't help but wonder why in the world would the doctor sign off on this woman having 14 babies? Well, the answer was eventually revealed when the doctor lost his medical license just 2 years after the octuplets were born. But what happened? Why did the doctor lose his medical license? Was it just with Nadia, or was he doing this with multiple women? According to the investigation, for a woman who's 33, which was Nadia's age at the time, the normal amount of embryos to have implanted is 2, and for Nadia, he did 12, which was obviously 6 times the normal amount. The board that did the investigation said that it revealed that he did not use his best judgment when practicing medicine, which is why he lost his license. Normally, a doctor would avoid numbers of that size because it can cause issues not only with the mother, but with the babies. And considering that she was a single mother of 6 at the time, I just really can't believe that he thought putting her life at risk made sense. But I guess that explains why he lost his license and fled the country. According to a few doctors who know him, he's teaching his fertility practices in another country now, but has stayed completely out of the public eye. Nadia claims that he lied to her and told her that she lost 6 embryos, which is why he transferred another 6. But he testified that Nadia insisted on the 12, and many people corroborated his story. She even allegedly told him that she would look into other options if too many of the embryos became viable. But there were way more risks involved in that. And obviously, she didn't do that because it was pretty clear that she wanted a reality show. I mean, look at the facts. In 2009, shows about big wild families of multiples were going crazy on TV. And John and Kate were at the height of their fame because 2009 was also the year that they got divorced. And everyone tuned in as this family of multiples crashed and burned before our eyes. It really seemed like Nadia thought she would end up in the same boat. We know that she wasn't employed. You can't help but wonder if she saw the opportunity for fame and money thanks to them and all the other multiple families on TV and took it. The only difference was that nothing took off for her like it did for all the other families we know and love. And the people that paid the price the most for her decision were her children because things took a drastic turn after she had the babies and couldn't afford to take care of them, especially when she pretty much faded away from the tabloids. She tried for years to stay relevant in pop culture, but it just didn't work. As crazy as she was, it's almost like she was too crazy to keep making headlines because people got used to how crazy she was. She got tons of plastic surgery to look like Angelina Jolie. She went on every talk show under the sun, but she just couldn't keep the fame alive. Allegedly, things got so bad that she got into exotic dancing, and she even made adult content and started boxing, all to make money to support her 14 children that she allegedly only had so that she'd become famous. There's gotta be a screw loose, right? According to her dad, that's the case. He went on Oprah after the babies were born and revealed so much about the situation. He said that it originally all started because she found out that she would probably only be able to get pregnant via IVF, so she started down that road immediately, with or without a partner. In this case, without, because according to her dad, she asked a friend to father all her children. But I'll get into the truth about that in just a second. He also revealed that at the time, Nadia hadn't made a house payment since May 2008, and that her house was on the brink of foreclosure, and that on top of all this, he and his wife were raising Nadia's kids because she wasn't able to. He talked about how her consistent pregnancies had been an issue for years. What many people didn't realize about Nadia's 6 older children is that they're all born very close together, which had to be rough for their grandparents who were supposedly raising them. All the older siblings were 1 year apart each, except for the youngest 2, who are twins. And when their grandfather found out about their pregnancy, he wasn't too happy. He claims that Nadia's fertility doctor called to check up on her and asked how she was doing. Her dad let him know that she was fine, and then he asked why, only to be told that she was pregnant again. While her parents were already struggling enough with the first 4 kids, he was so upset that he claimed he told the doctor everything that was going on with the family, how much they were all struggling financially and personally, and the doctor claimed that he had no idea. But even though he supposedly knew this, he still did the 12 embryo transfer. It's just beyond my comprehension. But let's go back to the supposed baby daddy of all 14 kids. There are so many stories about who the guy could possibly be. Nadia has claimed that all the kids had the same biological father, but she's never revealed who it is, and many men have come forward. But I'm going to be honest here. Some of the kids look so different that I just have a hard time believing that they all had the same biological father. I guess it's possible. I don't know anything about genetics really, especially when we have no idea what their father looks like to begin with to compare him and Nadia and the kid. But I just find it hard to believe. And as for the kids, they're honestly so grown up now, you won't believe it. She did a profile with the New York Times just a few years ago, and she tried to present the family as normal, well-rounded, and vegan. And maybe that's the case. But some of the descriptions seemed bleak. For example, the article said that their dining room table only has 2 chairs, even though they're a family of 15. I guess it'd be hard to have a dining table for 15, but just 2 dining chairs in a house of 15 can't be sufficient. These kids said that they eat in shifts because of it, and Nadia also admitted that she was struggling with substance issues after the fame faded, and that it was so bad that she sought treatment, and friends and family had to step in to raise her 14 children. Clearly, these kids have not had an easy childhood. I just don't understand how so many people failed them. From the doctor who knew how bad Nadia's circumstances were and how risky a procedure like that would be, to Nadia herself, who brought 14 children into the world with no way to provide for them. These days, the kids seem to be alright, but I'm sure we'll learn more as they get older. In the interview, Nadia said that her children know everything. Literally everything from start to finish about her issues in the past. She claims to have told her kid, and the youngest 8 were only 9 when she made this claim. I'll say this about the kids. They all seem to be really great kids, maybe in spite of their mother or maybe because of her. They've been forced to have a lot of responsibility from a young age, especially the oldest kids, since they had to help take care of the 8 little kids. And even though they seem to be great kids, I sincerely hope that they're able to get great therapists to help unpack the things that they went through because of their mom. Because just the things that we know about her aren't great. I can't even imagine what happened behind the scenes that we don't know about. But what do you guys think about this story? Do you remember when the whole Octomom controversy happened? It's hard to believe that the octuplets are already 13 years old. Let me know what you guys think about this bizarre situation in the comments down below.